Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I wanted to bring you guys something that I've actually never talked about. It actually took me a while to actually think about, and it was just an idea that randomly popped into my head, and that is what is on my MMA bucket list. What are some things that I want to do before my entire career is over? What are some goals I want to achieve? Something, and not, like the typical be a champion, stuff like that. Like, what are some real things that I want to achieve before my career ends? So if you guys do enjoy this video, please drop a like down below. It'll definitely help me out a lot. It'll let me reach new audiences. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and drop a subscribe if you haven't yet. Drop a comment for any future suggestions for new videos that you would like to see, and let's get straight into the video. So number one, it's not really gonna go in any specific order. These are all things that I want to do eventually, so I'll just go into the first one, and that is fight on every continent except for Antarctica, obviously. I mean, hey, if we can make it happen, make it happen. But I don't know, this has always been one thing of mine. Like, if you know me personally, you know I love traveling. I love seeing everything that I can see. I've been to Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Honduras, Belize, all these different places. And I really do enjoy like seeing new cultures and the way people live and everything like that. It's something that's super important to me, something that throughout my lifetime I just want to see and I don't know, like, enjoy as many different things as I can, obviously. And so with that being said, I want to use fighting as a way to see every continent. That's always been a big goal of mine. I'm like, there's only a few, so why not see all of them? See, maybe go fight in Australia one day, and then Asia one day, and then Europe one day, and then Africa the next day. Like, that's just super awesome to me. So definitely fighting on every continent is my that's probably one of the most important ones to me. This is definitely one that I absolutely want to accomplish before my career is over. So number two, this is actually less about me and more about the coaching side. And that's, I want to coach up both a male and female champion of a major organization, Bellator, one championship, the UFC, something like that. Of course I want to chase the championship myself, but as well as fighting, coaching is also one of my passions. And at the end of the day, that's what I do envision myself doing. Maybe having my own gym or something like that later, 20 years from now. And I want to coach someone from being a beginner to a champion of a major organization, both male and female. I feel like that would be absolutely, like, insane. Like, yeah, winning a championship sounds cool, but coaching two different, a male and a female, up to be champions sounds even more insane to me. And so with that being said, that is definitely another really big one for me. So number three, this one's back to me. So I really want to main event a major promotion show in Louisiana. And we have guys like Dustin Poirier and Daniel Cormier and Alan Jouban from Louisiana, and all these guys, Brendan Allen's in the UFC now, all these guys who finally made it, and they're pushing and they're leading the race for Louisiana athletes into the big shows, and Ton Lee in one championship. And it's just insane to me because I represent my state. I love this state. I don't really ever plan on leaving this state permanently. And with that being said, it would be a dream of mine to maybe have a big show in the Superdome or the place where the Hornets, OG throwback, the Pelicans play, and just the Smoothie King Center. Couldn't think of it. And go and just have a main event show and just really bring it home for Louisiana crowd and just really represent Louisiana in Louisiana would be absolutely a dream. That's something I've envisioned for so long, and if I could, I definitely want to make that happen one day. Maybe if I'm the champion, I don't care about the gate, I don't care about how much less money it might make us, maybe not a bigger place. I want to do that here, main event in a major organization in front of my hometown or my home state. That's a dream. That's genuinely a dream of mine. So another one, this is actually something that was inspired by a buddy of mine, Dustin Poirier. He has this Good Fight Foundation, and when you see the things that he does and you see how selfless he is, and he's so outgoing and willing to give back to people, it's so inspiring, especially to new and upcoming fighters and even the younger generations just in general. He set such an amazing guide and path for us, right? And so with that being said, I also do want to start up my own charity. That's something that I'm very, very passionate about. One thing I do want it to be more like in terms of is more like anti-bullying and stuff like that. A lot of you know, like, it wasn't very obvious to those around me whenever I was younger who knew me. But the ones who like in my family, they knew like I did go through like a bit like some bullying here and there and just being picked on and stuff like that. And so that's definitely something that I want to, you know, help out with the younger generations about in any way I possibly can. Because I remember like there were certain times where it would just be small stuff here and there, and I felt like, you know, it was kind of demeaning and it made you feel less than. And no one really deserves to feel like that. And so with that being said, I definitely want to give back and allow the younger generations to have the ability to understand that there's more than all that stuff's not important. And so, yeah, having a charity and anti-bullying organization, something like that in those terms, to be able to give back to the younger generation. So back to the fighting. This is actually something that I kind of low-key think everyone wants, but I'm like very serious about. And I want to retire with more finishes than decisions. Like, when people win by decision, a lot of the time, I feel like the credit is not given when it's deserved. Like, I think if you win by decision, you won, you get all the credit, right? But there's sometimes when those fights are super duper close. I think last weekend was Anthony Pettis and Cowboy, and everyone was kind of like, you know what I mean? And I think that's always been something that I didn't like, per se. And so with that being said, I've always wanted to be able to retire with more finishes than decisions, just to kind of leave that staple, like I was the man, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, I feel like it's just a super hard flex. Like, yeah, I'm out here finishing all these guys. Like, it's not up to anyone else. I decide I did this, like, boom, all me, right? And, you know, there's no room for debate. You finish someone, there's no room for debate. You won that fight. And so that's definitely something that, I don't know, it might be a little minorly petty, I don't know, but it's definitely something that I do really look forward to hopefully achieving one day. Because right now I have 2 finishes and 1 decision, and I'd really love to keep it at least double like that. But hey, you never know what's going to happen in fighting, so yeah, that's another one. So coming off of that last one, a big dream of mine, it's something you look at a lot of these fighters, you look at Henry Cejudo, perfect example. I want to retire on top of the game. I want to go out and leave everyone thinking like that guy was the man. You know, it saddens me to watch some of these legends, kind of like my all-time favorite, no disrespect towards him at all. I love everything about how he fights and how he composes himself. But Anderson Silva, you know, he was on top of the game, undefeated for 8 years straight, 10 title defenses or 9, pushing it. And then next thing you know, he starts losing, and it takes away from his legacy. And, you know, the diehard fans like me, I know his legacy is already fulfilled way before this. But to a lot of people, it definitely does take away a lot from that legendary status that they built for themselves over years. And so that's definitely not something that I want to experience when in my 30s. You know, I want to go out there and I want to win my championship. I want to maybe defend it once or twice and just get out, right? Get out, and then that's when I want to start working on what I was talking about earlier, coaching the new generation, bringing them up and letting them, you know, take over and, you know, basically hand over the baton and let them do their thing. So it's definitely honestly, thinking about it now, that's probably the biggest one for me. Retire on top of my game. Even if maybe say I'm not in my athletic prime, I definitely just want to go out with some wins, with a championship belt, some defenses, and then call it a day and go on about the rest of my life. You know, I'm 10 years in already. I'm only 18 and I'm 10 years in. I personally just don't want to do this for another 20 years just because I know how much there is in the world to see. And every fighter knows fighting takes a lot of your time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication and effort and energy. And you can't do as much whenever you are getting ready for fights. And so there's definitely, I don't want to spend the first 40 years of my life just only fighting. You know, there's a whole bunch of other things that I'd like to pursue. And so with that being said, I'd love to just continue this run and go ahead and win that championship. And like I said, get out on top. And this is the very last piece of my bucket list. This is number 7. And honestly, this is one that's probably one of the biggest dreams of mine, is to go and during my career and my coaching career, I want to win Fighter of the Year during a year, and I want to win Coach of the Year later on. I don't believe this has ever been done before. I don't think it's been done before, and that's absolutely, if I could do that, I would honestly just have fully satisfied my entire life. Like, everything I've been working for since I was 8 years old would be completely just worth it. Like, I did everything I wanted to do in life, and that would absolutely be amazing. To go fight, maybe win a championship, do this, win Fighter of the Year, retire on top, and then a little while later coach up a champion and win Coach of the Year. That would absolutely, like, it makes me like all excited and giggly. Like, when I think about it, it makes me feel like that little kid that I was when I first started again. So that's absolutely the biggest dream that I could even conjure in my head. Like, that'd be so amazing. If you guys did like this video, I know this video was actually really different. You know, like, we do some Q&As, we do stuff like that, but I never really just kind of sit down and talk about goals and aspirations of mine. And so I figured, since we are family and we're growing and we're doing all these things together, why not tell you guys, like, what I'm doing this for, why I'm pushing into things that I want to complete and do before I'm done. You know, like I said, I've put a lot of time and effort into this, and with that being said, all of this has meaning, and all of this has a purpose and an end purpose for me, and I just figured it'd be amazing to share it with you guys, let y'all get even closer to me and even more in my head. If you did like this video, please drop a like. Like I said, it definitely helps me out so much. It helps me reach new audiences when you guys engage with my posts. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, or you're thinking about subscribing, take 1 second, just scroll down a little bit and hit that subscribe button for me. It would help me out so much. And if you want to see any videos, if you have any questions, anything like that, go ahead and leave your feedback in the comment section. I'll get to you there, or I'll make a video about it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.